Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, welcome back to another video, and welcome back to another stream. Welcome back. That would be Annyeonghaseyo Yarabun, or Yarabun Annyeonghaseyo, whichever one you prefer. I'm told either way works. And of course that just means hello everybody. So, what are we doing? Well, we're continuing on the Panther. You can see right up here. We are building the 1/35th scale Panther by Meng. And we have our upper and lower hull assembled. That's what we did last time. And actually last time we put on this little jack that's on the back here, which as I was assembling it, I did not know what the heck it was until finally I realized, hey, that's just like an old bottle jack that you would use to jack up a car. So yeah, I recognized that and it's like, hey, that's what this thing is. As you can see, I've got the wheels put on here, but I don't have them on permanent. It's just because I was assembling some track that's going to be going these little shorter ones. I've got longer ones and I've got shorter ones, okay? The longer ones I did pre-assembled to go on the bottom like this, and then the shorter ones are going to be going up top here like this, okay? So that's what that's all about. So I was just doing these, assembling these yesterday, and so I got the wheels put on there. It's not permanent. I will wind up having to take them off later, but for now, that's what we got, right? Okay. So what are we doing today? Well, we finished assembling that little thing, and then of course the instructions do say put the wheels on now. So, well, I guess I did inadvertently. But we're going to build a couple of storage boxes that are going to go on the back of the hull here and here. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to start on that now. Okay, so first of all, let's switch glasses out because I always have to do that. And so we have options depending on whether they're building the A version or the BCD. Of course, we're doing the BCD, just like that. So we're not going to be doing this type one, we're going to be doing this one here. Okay, so how do we do that? We're going to take B, 35, and 36. So we've got to find our B tree here. B. There we go. 35 and 36. Bing and bang. Just like that. B, 35 and 36. Do. And then we need B4 and B8. B4 and B8. Doesn't look like it's on here, so it might be on the other part that was taken off. Is that huge, guys? Yes, right here. 4 and 8. 4 and 8. Okay. Let's clean these guys up here. My last video, Nico asked a very good question. He asked me, why did I choose the Meng kit over another one, such as the Tamiya? And what's the difference? What would be the difference between a Meng kit and a Tamiya kit? Now, I did respond on that, so if you want to check that out, you can go see it there. But the basic, I've only built 2 Meng kits, okay? The first one I built was the Terminator, the Russian Terminator tank. That was my first introduction to a Meng kit ever. And I only chose that one because I'd never really heard of Meng up until recently. And so I looked them up, just Googled them and say, oh, they got a website, let's see what they make. And well, they make all kinds of armor models, and so I was just scrolling through their pages to see what kind of tanks they make, and I saw the Terminator tank and I was like, whoa, that thing looks cool, right? And so I figured I'd checked that out, went to my hobby store, asked if they had it. Yes, they did. Bing, bang, bong, and there you go. I got my first Meng tank, and that was my first one. So that was pretty cool. As far as the experience goes for that, it was, like I said, my first ever Meng kit, and it was only purchased because I thought the tank looked really cool, and for literally no other reason. I just thought it looked really cool. So that little cap is going to go on there. I suppose you could have it open if you wanted, if you really wanted to go crazy and have some kind of detail like that, but we're not doing that. It's not part of our purpose today. It's just put it together, set it and forget it. So, to answer the question, what was it like compared to a Tamiya kit? Well, I would say the Meng kits have a lot more detail than a Tamiya kit does. There's a lot more parts and a lot more detail. That being said, however, if you guys have been watching my build on this particular tank at least, you'll know I've found some places where the nubs are a little bit excessive. Attachment points are a little bit like more than what you would need on the sprue tree. A little bit of flashing here and there, things like that. Like even on this side, you see the ejector pin marks here on the inside of this. Okay, here, and there's a little bit of flashing on it. Now, does it matter? No, because it's on the inside and it's never going to be seen. It's not going to interfere with anything, so it really doesn't matter. But that's just kind of my point, is that you have these kind of things, and I don't really see that very much on Tamiya kit. So that's really, if I had a gripe with the Meng kits, that would be it. But I chose, like, when my client asked me to look for a Panther tank, I looked at what's out there and what brands there are that's available, and yeah, Tamiya makes one. So that was option one, Tamiya. Now, does Meng make one? Yes. Take a look at them, and the Tamiya kit is just inferior as far as detail, and so that's why I chose this Meng kit. Also, the Tamiya kits, they don't seem to offer anything extra special. The Meng kits, from what I've seen, they offer things like photo etch comes with the kits, extra detail, right? These little meshes and things like that, that the Tamiya kit is not going to be as detailed because it simply doesn't have it. You'd have to buy like an extra photo etched kit separate, and that's just increases the cost. Now, the Meng kits, yeah, they are a little more expensive than a Tamiya kit, but you're kind of getting what you pay for, right? You're getting photo etched in the kit already, and it's not like a crazy super amount. I got 3 sheets, right? 3 little small sheets of photo etch, and it's really all that's needed. Look at how many extra sheets of photo etch that I still have left over from that Tirpitz that I didn't even use, because it's just unnecessary detail, really. Detail that you're never going to see. Getting these holes lined up. There we go. So that's going to be box number 1, lining up just like that. Just doing a little test fit to make sure it is going to fit nice, and it does. So let's get that. What I like to do is I like to use a combination of the glues. So where the pins are going to go in the holes, I will do a little dab of the thicker glue because it holds nice. And then around the edges I'll use the thin glue because it will go in with its nice capillary action and help hold everything together and just give it that extra strong bond. And that's really all I'm going to need. So I'm going to test fit this side now. Fits good. Perfect. And we'll do it again. All right. There we go. So we got our little boxes on the back there now, which will make us finished for this page. And we will move on and see what's coming up next. Moving on to page 8. How many pages are in this manual? 24. Alright, so next we're going to be doing exhaust. And of course we've got different options with the exhaust depending on whether we're doing the A or the B or the C and D. C and D is what we're doing, which means we're going to be using these parts. There are some common pieces like B2 and M68, or is it 6? No, sorry, 38. And then we're going to be doing B24 and M41. It's telling me it's showing on the B tree is one side and on the M tree is the other side, and that's basically it. So that's really all that's telling me. So let's take a look at these here. We got on the B tree, B2 and 24. Here's B2 right here. Okay, bingo. And then we want B24. It's this little pipe right here. Okay, those two. And then we've got to go to the M tree. M, where's my M? There's my M. And we want M38. Okay, M38, and we want M41. M41. Okay. Let's clean our little guys up here. They did a pretty good job at doing the texture of the rolled steel for the exhaust. It's going to look good when I start doing the rust effects on this. Okay. There's kind of a seam line going down there that I don't like. It's supposed to be a round pipe after all. Okay. That looks alright. Now we're going to take this and we're going to put this guy like that. Okay. So let's do that. We'll do one at a time. In case there is some kind of left and right that I'm going to run into an issue, I want to keep them separated. This is the B and this one's the M. So just, I don't know for sure yet if left and right is going to be an issue at all. So there we go, there's our first little exhaust pipe. And that's our B. Okay. So now we'll clean up the M. They might be left and right. Maybe the pins are different on how it attaches to the hull. That's always possible. Looks like it. See, they added this. That's one thing. This is where you don't have this with Tamiya. Why did they put that extra little thing on there that for me to have to remove that? And it wasn't on the other one, right? That's the thing. If I want to say I want to complain about this on the Meng kits, that would be it. If there was something to complain about, that would be it. The inconsistency on their I don't know what you even call it, the molding attachments, how parts are attached to the actual trees, sprues, runners, whatever you want to call them. It seems to be some inconsistency, and it's a little strange. That being said, like something like this, the fit is very nice, if not a little crooked here. Okay, so there's our B and our M. Now they look pretty much the same. So let's see here. So it goes to actually putting them on. You do not, so that's the A, so I'm not doing the A. This is the B, I'm not doing that. Here we go. C. They're not telling me which one is B or M, so that tells me it makes no difference whether you got left or right. Okay? They are actually attaching another piece. It looks like it's going to be a bit of a guide piece. M31. So there should be two M31s. 33, 32. Oh. No, it's 31 and then M30 is the opposite. It's pretty frustrating. Their instructions are a little bit harder to understand than Tamiya. There's another comparison between Meng and Tamiya. Where Tamiya, a Tamiya kit would tell me M31, it goes here, and it would show M30 on this side. That's what a Tamiya kit would do. But what these guys do is they show the M31, and then in small writing, especially with the Japanese right beside it, it makes it harder to point out. It says M30 opposite right there. It's very small writing. And so that's where, hey, you know, you guys could do a little better on the clarity of how things go together. That's my little gripe with, I guess you could say, Meng. This now being a bit tight to fit in there, I'm going to open up these holes just a little bit. Pick a side. There we go. There's one. It's a much tighter fit. There we go. No, it's not. It didn't go. Now we're gone. There we go. So we've got those in. They're not glued into by any means. So what do I need to do here? Going like this. It looks like this piece is going over. Of course, we've got an extra piece to remove here. Sorry about that. This is going over the pipe? It's a bit confusing here. It's a good thing I haven't glued this yet. So I need to remove these. These little pipes actually go on here, this. And unfortunately, it's not a perfect fit, but okay, so I got that lined up good. That's perfect. That's what I needed. There's one side. Sit there, don't touch that, let that dry. Now, where'd my other piece go? There it is. And that's going to go this way. Before that's fully cured, okay, there we go. So those are in place, and I'm going to use my thin set to get these guys on there permanently. I always call it thin set. I don't know why. Somewhere along the lines I picked up that term thin set, and it just has not left my vocabulary. And I don't know why. It's the Tamiya Extra Thin. This one is the fast one, quick setting. And I like it because it dries, it's like, I don't know, a very weak super glue. Okay, so with those on, now you can see, I'm going to zoom in on this camera here, I'll show you. And we'll get her to zoom in on the tank, there you go. So you can see that detail with those little pieces in there that I just put on. These guys here, these little bars that go across on there. So that's what we're looking at so far. Yeah, where are we? Yeah, and that's that. Okay, so now we've got covers to put over them. But actually, we don't. If we're doing the A version, then we've got great big honking pipes, great big exhaust pipes that are the same size as this. That's the A version. If we're doing the B, then we've got a couple of covers that go over top of this and this. And same with the C, and if the C and the D, we've got those little braces, but only with the C. So the D, we don't cover these. The D, these are exposed. and that's what we're going to leave it as, because we're doing the D. So, next we have, moving on, that makes it done with the exhaust pieces. Okay, we're done with the exhaust. Nice and simple. Next we're going to move over to the next page, and we have assembling and attaching the rear formation lights. Also known as tail lights, I guess. We need B and M. B and M again. So we need B, 25, and 33. Well, here's 25. Here's 25, we need 33. Moving on down, there we go. Here's 33. And now we need our M. We need M36. 27, 28, 33, 35, 42. Where's 36? One, two, three, 4, 5, 8. Yeah, that's great. 36. Is that going to be somewhere on one of these other little pieces? What's this guy? No. Am I missing something? I don't think I'm missing anything. No. Nothing in there. M36 is this little round thing. And I don't... Oh, that's right in front of my face. There we go. It's a very small little tube. A little bit of details on it. It's going to go right in there. That should be fun. Now this is where that extra detail comes into play. If this was a Tamiya kit, they would not be having me assemble these really tiny parts like this. They would have molded this as one piece and just had it detailed like that. And that's what a Tamiya kit would be like. But this is a Meng kit, so Meng, from what I've determined in the two kits that I've built by Meng, is they want you to assemble more pieces than Tamiya does. And I'm on the fence. I'm somewhere in between like how much is necessary to make me assemble on a kit. Some things are a little bit like, okay, you were able to, like, here's an example, okay, you're able to mold this piece here, and you molded this hatch, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one. You molded all these into your sculpt when you made this, but you didn't do this one and you didn't do this one. You made me put these on, these two pieces, these two, right? You could have easily just molded these two in with the rest of them when you did it, but you made me put them on, right? That's the question I always have, is with these companies, how do they decide what parts to mold as detail and what parts do they decide to make you install, right? How do they come to these decisions? That would be really interesting to me to know what their process is with that. Like, is it just random? Is there actual, is there a rhyme or a reason to it all? You know, like that kind of stuff. That I think it would be interesting to know how they come up with that. This is simply just, it looks like an anchor point for something that goes on the exhaust mount. And that's all that is. Okay, so now our little tail light thing literally goes on the other side. And I'm going to have to do this. It's a little bit delicate work here. Although it's not too bad. There we go. Our tail light's installed. One little, it's total afterthought kind of thing. Like, oh, wait a minute, we need to put lights on the back. How's everyone going to know when we're hitting the brakes? But, yeah. So that's that. Okay. So let's close these and see what's next. That's it for the back here. It looks like that's all done. No, we're not done. I missed a couple of hooks that need to go on the back here and here. Where are those? I saw them before and then I didn't put them on because I was doing something else. But I gotta go back and find them now. There they are. Look how far back I had to go. F33. It's a couple little hooks that go on here on each side. F33. F33. 25, 33. Bing and bang right there. Here's one. Two. Okay. And these go with the big honking piece facing inward. They almost look like I don't have to glue them. No. I could just leave them like that. But I think if I do leave them like that, that will also leave the possibility of them falling off. And I don't want that. See? It's just kind of pressure fitted in there, so I am going to just have them hanging down vertically like they would in real life, and I will glue them like that. Actually, on second thought, I'm not going to glue them right now because there are cables, and I have a feeling there's going to be a cable I'm going to have to hook on there, and in the future down the road, I'm just going to take a look here. Those cables, when do those cables come into play? Here we go. we have cables that we're going to make. They don't actually attach to those. Alright, that's perfect. That is perfect. So I can glue them. Just glue them in spots so that they don't accidentally get knocked off at some point. And then, you know, suddenly I realize while I'm painting it, hey, it's gone. Where did it go? And then I'd have to watch my own videos. I'd have to watch my own videos and to find out at what point I knocked it off. Okay, so we've got our little tow hooks installed on the back. There and there. Okay, just like that. Hi! There we go. Okay, so moving on. The next step, they want me to install the tracks. Of course, that would mean having all the wheels on permanently, and the tracks are now going to get installed. Now, although I could do that and put them on there and work on that, I'm not going to do that, okay? That's a much further step down the road. The tracks are almost going to be the last thing I do. Okay, so we're going to skip this and we're going to move on and see what's next. Looks like what we're going to be doing is, looks like some chain and what do they call it? Upper hull accessories. So we can have the front machine gun. They call it the hull machine gun. They're giving me an option of having it plugged or having it open. I guess you can, there's a plug and then there's a chain that you can put in that goes across there and have that installed, or you can have the barrel sticking out. I think it's going to look cooler to have the barrel sticking out, right? That's just my assumption here, but I think that's what we're going to go with. So, what do we need for this? We need A17 and we need A25 and we need A41. So, let's find our A tree. Here's our A tree. So we want 17. That guy there. And we got 25 and 41. Here's 25. This little ball. And 41. 38, 39, 49, no, 40, 41, here we go. There we go. Okay, let's clean this up, especially a little barrel. There's our little gun barrel. Let's just put that there for now. And we'll take our little ball. I'm going to guess it's kind of on a ball socket. Okay, there's the ball. Let's clean this up. Now we'll what they don't want the, oh, I see what's going on. I see what's happening. This piece is going to get glued down. And then what's going to happen is the little ball socket goes inside here, and the barrel gets glued to that. So they have this sitting this way, like that. So that's going to be fun, trying to glue the barrel to that and not get glue anywhere else. So I can't actually, it's going to be easy because I'm just going to do that. It's going to be really easy. There we go. Barrel's installed. Now we're not going to be gluing this in there. This is going to go in there. They say don't glue the barrel, but it's going to be kind of hard not to. This kind of sits on there. This, and then this goes over top like that. And if I got that lined up properly, that's a big if. You get a little bit of movement on the barrel, but not a lot. It's alright, I guess. It's nothing spectacular. It's supposed to be like this. Now this would be one of the few places where it's not a perfect fit and could be a little better. But it's not the end of the world. But there we go. Our little machine gun's installed. Okay. And with that, we have a little bit of movement on the barrel. It's not a lot, it's just a little bit. Just kind of a tight enough. It's not really, you can kind of position it, it kind of flops around a little bit. It's not going anywhere, but it moves, and that's the main thing, right? So there you go. The main thing is that it moves, right? Okay, so with that part's done. We're not doing the chain because we're not putting the plug in the front, okay? But it looks like we do have the option. We could have it hanging down. I just don't see a proper point at where the chain actually anchors anywhere on here, other than they just got it pointing to this little rivet hole here. and that's it. And that's actually, it's a photo etch chain. That's cool. And that would connect to A41. But if I have it just hanging down here, it's going to interfere with the rest of... Yeah. Well, let's take a look at it. A11. A11. 11. This little guy right here. And they were nice enough to put a big nub mark on it. I have to clean off. Clean up. Okay, so there's the plug. And then the other piece is photo etched off of the W tree. So we're already familiar with this. There's our chain right there. W28, that is 28, yes. So, let's get my tracks out of the way so I can get the glass. And there we go. There's our little chain. Okay. Now, is there any particular side that it's supposed to go? I see the link on this end is a little different than the link here. So which way does it go? It goes with this side on our little piece. Like that. Okay. Now, of course, this is going to require the CA glue, because the CA glue is what you need to glue the photo etched on. They want one of the holes on the very first link, to go through that little peg. Let's see if it can actually fit through it or not. I'm going to guess no. Just because it seems like a tight fit. So let's put that there, and let's get the CA glue. And get my toothpick. Definitely don't need that much. course, I don't have any accelerator right now, so I just have to wait until it finally bites. And with the thicker stuff, that can take a few seconds. And of course, the more you move it, the more it doesn't hold. Okay, this isn't working for me, so I need another pair of fingers. Looks like it almost dried already. Not quite, but close enough. Okay. We're gonna do it this time. There we go. She's holding. And that's what we need, is for it to hold. Okay, so I can just leave this aside for now because we're not actually installing this right at this moment. Okay. I might wind up not even putting that on there. It's kind of an unnecessary detail. As you guys know, I'm big on unnecessary details. But we got a couple of things to put on this fender here, right in this spot. A12, 35, and 42. It looks like a headlight. Here's 12. Weird looking little thing. Doesn't look anything like the picture. We'll see. 35 and 42. 33, 34, 35. And 42. 40, 46, 42 over here. All right. Clean off this nub mark here. Alright, there's that guy. This guy, I purposely left the nub marks big on this one so I could clean it up with a knife. Preserve the round shape. Actually, you can clean this up a little better. Okay. Still not done. Okay, so this glues onto that piece. That's pretty straightforward. Let's actually see how tight this is. Not quite. I don't know if it's supposed to be sticking out. It doesn't appear to be anything special, so let's do that. There we go. So that goes on top of this piece. And it's got a wire coming off of it. Where that wire's supposed to go? Ah, I get it. I get it. I get it. Okay. I get it. Glue on here. Glue's on there. And of course, at one time there's some flashing I need to clean up. It's on a little delicate part. Okay. There, there, and there. There we go. Got our headlight installed. Okay, I gotta check something here. Okay. Didn't accidentally get any glue on our machine gun, so that's really good. That is a very good sign. Okay, got a few minutes and I can add a couple of more little kibbles. Looks like we want F33 and we're going to put a couple of hooks on the front here. And then we want A9 and A10. Going to cover up these little holes here, here and here. So we want F33 and A9 and 10. A9 and 10 do right here and here. Let's just do this. Then we want F33 again. That's going to be on the other one. F33 again. These are the same as what I put on the rear. put these on, and then I think I'm going to call it a day. Or maybe I'll assemble these and then call it a day. If you're watching this on YouTube, then I'd appreciate it if you hit the like button. That would help me out a lot. And also subscribe. Why not subscribe? It doesn't hurt you to subscribe. It's pretty easy, pretty straightforward. Just click a button and forget about it. But it helps out a lot on my end for more subscribers. And also more likes. It helps the whole YouTube algorithm thing. The more likes you get, that helps me out a lot too. And so I'd really appreciate that. If you like the stuff, if you like model building and you like what I'm doing, then that's really appreciated. Like really. Helps out all around. And then of course, if you're on my YouTube page, you can check out the links, and you can check out my Instagram, where I post still pictures of the models I've built in the past, and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Okay. So once again, these go on just like on the back. We've got our little hook things, just like that, and just like that. And now these gotta go on, and it looks like this is gonna go on. Looks like I'm gonna have to clean up a nub mark on here a little better. There isn't one on this side, but there was one on here. Okay. So it looks like this side goes here. Kind of a unique fit. Doesn't quite fit. I'll have to put some glue on it and then get it to stay where it's supposed to. Really? There we go. I can understand why they had me put in this part here separate, because it it's almost interferes with this hook. Almost. So, with that one done, let's work on this side. this side is a better fit. By better, I mean it fits a little more precisely. Okay, so those are on. Fender's complete. I guess you could say that. And so we're going to do this part here, okay? And then we'll call it a day. So what have we got here? I don't know what this is called. It's just upper accessories 2. I don't know what this is. Something to do with the gun, main gun maybe. It's going to go right up here. Okay, so we want off of our M tree, M39 and 40. Well, there's 40. And we want 39 over here. They look like the same friggin' thing. What are we doing here? I don't know the purpose of this part, but we can either have it up or flip down. I think it's to balance the gun. The barrel will sit on top, I think, if it's going to be locked down. I think that's the whole purpose of it. So 39 is this one. Okay. I'm gonna have to. Well, they look like the same freaking part. One had 40 has like some kind of a little chain on it. 39 doesn't. Weird. Anyway. Again, I'm just guessing this is like the cradle for the barrel, the gun barrel. If you want to have it displayed in the stowed position where it's locked down, then you would have this sitting up for the barrel to rest into the cradle there like that, right? But we're not doing that. So we need off of the S tree, this first part's off of the S tree. Here's the S tree. We've got our anti-aircraft plate that goes on the top of the turret, stowage boxes that would have gone on the back if we were building the A version. So we need 15, 16, 17. $13, $14, $15, $16. 15, we're going to put you here. 16, I'm going to put you here, and I need 17. There you are, you're hiding under here. 17, okay. If you've watched this far, I want to give another shout out to Nico. Nico commented on my last video, and he mentioned But some things are getting a little bit boring as far as building the model kits. And I wanted to talk about that. When you're building these model kits and you want to build them and build them and build them, it is easy to get a little bit burnt out. Especially if you're like, hey, I want to build model airplanes and I want an F-15 and an 18 and I want a 16 and I want an F-22 and so you get into, you go out with a bunch of gusto and you start building these kits, right? And then you find they're all kind of the same. Yeah, they're different plane and they look different when they're done, but the assembly is the same. And it's easy to get a little bit burnt out in that regard, because there isn't a lot of diversion from the manufacturing process as far as these model companies. They are all quite similar. There's no doubt about that. There is definitely a lot of similarity in them. You know, and it doesn't matter what you're building. If it's a model car or if it's a model plane, a model tank, they are all similar in the assembly process. And unfortunately, that's just the way it is. You know, you take a look at a model of an F-22 and you look at a model of an F-15, you're going to be building the cockpit first on both planes. It's going to be no different. They're going to be identical. You're going to build the cockpit, then you're going to be putting the fuselage together, you're going to be doing the intakes, assembling the wings, landing gear. They all have similar components, and so the build process is pretty much similar, right? It's just the way it is. And if you're building 1, 2, 3, 4 of these, it doesn't even matter if whether you're building a modern aircraft like an F-15 or you're building an old P-51 Mustang. They're going to be similar, and there's going to have similarities in that regard. And so you can get burnt out. You get bored of it. My recommendation is take a break. Plain and simple. Take a break. Even if you're halfway through and you're just like, you know what, this is a grind and I really don't feel like doing it, put all your pieces in the boxes and put it away. Wait a week. Give it a week. Give it a month. Just take a break. And then when you're feeling like, hey, you know, that's been sitting there for a while and I haven't done that, I think I'm going to try it. Open it up and start at it again. And you'll have a fresh approach. You'll be a little bit rested from it, and it'll be new again. That's really all I can recommend about that. You can get burnt out from doing it. If you're doing it so much and you're doing it over and over and over, and because you fell in love with model airplanes, and so you want to have a collection of them, you wind up doing the same kind of thing. It's the same cockpit, canopies, fuselage. Yeah. Same with the tanks. You know, the tanks are all the same. You do the lower hull and the upper hull. You do all the wheels. You put all the tracks together. You build the turret, and then you weather it and weather, painting, and all this stuff. And every tank's the same. That's just the way it is. Model cars. Although I don't really build model cars anymore, I used to when I was younger. And it's the same thing. What do you start with? Boom! Start with the engine. Every single time. Every single car. Start with the engine. Then you go with the interior. You you put all the seats and the dash and everything all inside, and you put the bucket of the interior down on the floor pan and with the engine in it and everything, and then you put the body on last. And yeah, it's the same thing, same process every time, and it's easy to get burnt out. It's easy to find it boring and you get burnt out from it. And yeah, anyway, that being said, I have this done now, and it looks like I'm going to be able to turn it, lift it up. Yeah, so this lifts up like this and like this, depending on whether you want to have the barrel resting in it or not. Now, why they gave me a choice of M39 or M40 when the only difference I can tell is this has this separate and this one has what looks like a chain of some sort, and that's the only difference between the two parts. So I don't know why, and I don't know what the purpose is of those two differences. Anyway, I went with 40 because why not? There you go. So 39's in the garbage, and that's it. So I'm going to leave it there. I've got more to do on this page, but I'm going to leave it here for now, for today, and we're going to call it a day. And yeah, these didn't accidentally get glued. They're still nice and tight, and we'll just go doink, and we can have that up. That's cool. Little feature there. Kind of defeats the purpose of this little hatch that's directly underneath of it that you cannot open because of this thing, but whatever. It is what it is. There we go. Yeah, so there we have it. That's what we're going to do. We're going to end it here today. Next time we've got a little rack of some sort that's going to go on the side here, and then a couple of little kibbles and bits that are going to go on the top here and on the back here, maybe tomorrow. And then we're going to start on what looks like our engine exhaust covers. And yeah, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to leave it there, leave that there for today, and we'll continue on next time. I want to thank you guys for watching. Thank you for We're on X for saying hi. Yeah, so like I said earlier, if you like this stuff and you like what I'm doing and you're watching on YouTube, hit the like button down below there and hit the subscribe over there. It's like maybe here or something like that, right there. I don't remember exactly. Anyway, head over to my Instagram, check me out there. If you're watching on YouTube and you haven't seen me on Twitch, you can check out the links in the box down there, in the comments box, or no, the description box. I'll put my links to my Instagram and my Twitch on there, and you can check me out there, and then you can follow me on Twitch and watch me live, and you can say hi just like we're on there, and yeah, all that good stuff. So I want to thank you guys again. Thanks for watching. Thanks for coming out. And yeah, I'll try and get back on this tomorrow. We'll see how it goes. But until then, we'll see you all in the next one.